And we are wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 42, Night 1 and 2. It took place in Paradise, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. Attendance for Night 1, which we'll talk about now, is was 50,000 816. You could probably put an asterisk on that because um, from home it seemed like it was not nearly as full, and considering like what it seemed like, those numbers were like a couple of days before it, it didn't seem like they immediately sold that many tickets. But I digress. Um, I will say night one was definitely a show that happened. Didn't necessarily feel like a WrestleMania to me. It felt like a random PLE with a high budget. And everything just kind of, from a TV perspective, kind of seemed off. I mean, Michael Cole was stumbling on his words. The cameramans were not where they needed to be, and even one cameraman fell over during the match. So they were definitely not on their game for night one by any stretch of the imagination. Um, it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of. I mean, it doesn't seem like there was a lot of enthusiasm going into night one either. It did kind of seem like, let's get this shit over with, so to speak. But that was kind of my perspective of it. What say you, Kaliko?
Well, I mean, you know me, ever since they started doing two night WrestleManias, I always have a theme for both.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The show that didn't exist and the show that totally existed.
No, um, night one for me, or at least for me, was like night one's theme was Whiskey Tango Foxtrot because of the simple fact that it it felt like a TKO night. It truly felt like a TKO night from the I show. Granted, Speed did good. It just felt like a celebrity night. It was celebrity night, and you want to know how I know it was celebrity night? Because there were celebrities in the stands, or at least where I was sitting. You had the cast of Street Fighter sitting there. I'm, and this is the other reason I can tell. Uh, because the audience that was there, or the audience that was in Celebrity Row night one, differed from night two. There were only a handful of people that were there both night one and night two. And I can count them on one finger. And they were Terrence Crawford, George Kittle,
Of course.
Jameer Gibbs, Deion Dawkins, Tony Hinchcliffe, and fuck, I can't think of his name. Uh O'Shea, Ice Cube's son, and crew, and the 520 podcast crew.
Okay.
Night one had Night one also had uh Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Wiggins, basketball players, obviously. They had the cast of Street Fighter there. And the sidebar, the motherfucker that plays Zangief is fucking wow. Anyways, he's big as fuck. Anyway, and
Okay.
the guy that plays Ryu, like, and the guy that plays Ryu, rather small. See, this is give you a little insight. But yeah, night one was like, what the fuck? It just felt like it felt more like a celebrity-esque show because, you know, Speed was there, Jelly Roll's there, McAfee's there, so therefore all the people kind of celebrity buddy, blood, celebrity buddy were there, right?
Right.
So that was night one for me. Night two was wrestling night. It felt like night two book. It felt like Triple H booked night two and TKO booked night one. To be quite honest,
Wouldn't be surprised if that actually was the case.
because night one did not make any sense in the sense of there was a lot of explaining that needed to be done after the matches. Other than like, I mean, I mean, I get it. Speed puts Logan through a table. We kind of get that story, but that Orton Rhodes match was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot was going on.
The live, the core match, which I thought was gonna be
But we'll
like,
we'll get into the matches. We could start with
okay,
yeah. Let's get into them.
let's go. Let's get into them because this shit is like pissing. And then let's not. And of course, I'm getting into that black bitch that cussed me out on the way outside the stadium. I kind of wanted to drop kick her in the kneecaps, but we'll go there.
Okay, so Kaliko had a match after WrestleMania in the parking lot.
Night one.
Night one.
Night one.
Okay.
I mean, everyone had matches with the security after night one and two because people were getting arrested and banned and all this shit. But that's neither here nor
Well, let's get into it. The thing that kicked off WrestleMania, the whole shebang, was the Usos and LA Knight. Yeah. Versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISO Speed. Gonna be honest, it was kind of messy. It was kind of all over the place. Low key, it was a wet fart in church, if I'm being completely honest. And it felt like it ended before it even got started. It was like, oh, all of these moves, blunt trust trauma, LA Knight wins. And I was like, oh, that's it. Like it just kind of ended so abruptly. And I get that, ISO Speed, got the moment on Logan. But I felt like there was more you could do with all these guys. It was just
Hmm.
it kind of felt like it was all for ISO Speed to have a match and to kind of cover things up more than, we don't have anything for these guys. We're going to give them this match, if that makes sense.
Well, it was basically for iShow Speed because they had his crew streaming uh they had his crew front row streaming as they were, doing the match. So essentially you had the crew filming WrestleMania while simultaneously the crew that was filming iShow Speed doing his vlog. So it was kind of that mesh up. Because his brother was there, his father was there, and rightfully so. I get it.
Right.
But that was just anything. I kind of get why they put it on ESPN because that was TKO going, hey, let's get some of iShow Speed's 50 million followers that watch him to tune into WWE.
Right.
Although I don't think they thought about the correlation between the two because as much as Logan Paul is as much as Logan Paul is a streamer, but the wrestling community respects him for better or for worse. They'll boo the shit out of him, but they respect the fact that like he's there full time doing the craft, so on and so forth.
Right.
Unlike a Speed where he's doing these one offs and And yeah, it'll get eyeballs from the casual people, and that's what they were trying to do. But after that, then what, right? Because ISO speed being there didn't correlate to people being in the seats.
It most certainly did not.
And that's where the problem is. That's where WrestleMania's problem was. Well, at least for night one.
I mean, did you like the match at least?
I mean, I could have cared less, but my son loved the match. Shit, it's ISO speed. He watches it catches those people. The people that watches YouTube and knows who the fuck these guys are, it'll catch their eyeballs in a minute. But anybody over the age of 13, I mean, who the fuck? I mean, not even 13. I'd say 16. Anyone over the age of 16, you're not really gonna, you're really not gonna know who the fuck these people are. I mean,
Well, it sounds like your son would have given this 5 stars, but how many
oh,
stars do you
he's
give
giving
it?
it. He gives it 5 stars just off the rip. Just I show speed. Shit. The whole reason he wanted to go to night one was because of I show speed and Cody
Oh,
Rhodes. That's about it.
well, at least there was one person in the seat for ISO speed.
No shit.
But how many stars do you give it?
It is, I mean, what, like 2.5 at best, and that's me. And you know me, I love the Usos, but I know they use the Usos as a filler with the Vision for LA Knight to get to yeah, it was just kind of hodgepodged in there, to be quite honest.
No, I mean, I agree. We're on the same wavelength at this point. 2.5 on my part as well. I'm assuming that Uncle Dave watched this, so
Oh, you know I'm pulling it up. You already know. And if that mother effer did it, he had to have, right?
of course, it's literally the biggest show
He, I
of the year.
mean,
Maybe not the
he would
year,
have
but
had to. Oh, there we go. Now we have the ultimate Super Bowl wrestling edition of Guess That Rating. Da, 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 da.
all right. So if
So
we
we
give,
gave it 2.5.
oh, he gave it 2.5
Or
too.
I gave it, no, I gave it 2.5. You
Yeah,
gave it 2.5.
he's definitely not going to be as favorable as us. 1 and 7/5.
Higher.
Two,
Higher.
2.5.
2.5. We start off on the right foot. See this? You
Okay,
see this?
vibing with Uncle Dave.
We're vibing with Dave, right?
Our second match, Jacob Fatu defeated Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match, 14 minutes, 10 seconds. Thought this was a good match. Good intensity by both guys. Maybe not as violent as it could have been, considering how violent we know both guys could get. But also, we were at WrestleMania and on ESPN to a lesser degree. So,
Right.
you
Exactly.
can,
They put an unsanctioned violence match on ESPN.
yeah. So, I mean, you were kind of climbing your way up from that point. But considering what they had to work with and considering other things on this card, I would say that they did the best with what they had. And, I don't know where Drew kind of goes from here because, he's kind of lost everything at this point. But I mean, it made logical sense for Jacob to actually get the W, considering what we saw on Raw on the Monday after. So obviously they're building Jacob. So for, what they were doing, I think that it actually worked out quite well. What say you?
I mean, it worked out because you kind of figured. I mean, their big three this year that they're trying to deal with is Fatu, Rhea, and I forgot the third one. I totally forgot the third one who's going to be the guy. They have three people that they are high on this year. And I knew Jacob and
I mean, when was they never not high on Rhea? I mean, they've always been high on Rhea.
but Rhea's in that realm where Charlotte was
Yes.
years ago. Like always high card, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Like I said, John
That
Cena of pro wrestling of the women's division.
pretty much. So that's what I'm saying. So it's her, Rhea. I can't think of the third, and but it'll come to me. But yeah, this match kind of made sense for Jacob to win. I mean, Drew was antagonizing him the whole time, and it kind of, as much as I hate to say it, Drew losing, it gives him that modicum of truth in all of his promos, right? Of getting screwed over, fucked over by management, by the upper people. So it kind of keeps him in that lane where he can be a unabated, unapologetic truth teller. And I kind of like that for him, to be quite honest.
But I mean, it also it's a double sided, a double edged sword because then you can't necessarily have him win as well because then it just kind of falls to the wayside,
I
so to
mean,
speak.
he'll get a couple of wins. I think he's gonna get his comeuppance. I think his beef is more with the all this is in the what the fuck is his name? Adam Pearsons of the world, more so than wrestlers.
Hmm, not wrong. So how many stars you give this one?
Um, Considering it was an unsanctioned match and technically it was not supposed to. It's weird because they have these unsanctioned matches, but yet they have someone pin somebody. It makes no sense to me. Three, 3.5, just based on that. Like, how do you have an unsanctioned match, but the winner is by pinfall? But that just throws me off.
I will give it. Do I want to give it 3.5?
Ooh, just do it.
I'll, I want to give it 3. I'll go with 3.
Oh, three. Look at you.
It was
Hey,
good.
Mira.
It was good, but it wasn't. It, they understood the assignment, but I was never. It wasn't one of the most fully invested matches I was in WrestleMania. Um, Uncle Dave,
Uncle Dave.
3.5.
Higher.
3 7/5.
Higher.
4 1/4.
4.25.
Hmm. Okay. Uncle Dave was
Shot
vibing.
the sh- shot the shit out of me. I mean,
Yeah.
for an unsanctioned match. Anyways,
Now we got fatal four-way tag team match for the women's tag team championships. Literally the only tag titles defended on both nights of WrestleMania. Um, Brie Bella and Paige defeated Nia Jackson, Last Legend, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I'm not gonna lie, I popped for Paige. I'm glad that she got the pop that she did, and I'm glad that she came back. This is home to her, so it's only right that she came home. And once she came back, it kind of became the Paige show. Like, it didn't matter who else was in the match, they wanted to see Paige, which, obviously. She was able to get some good offense in, and the goals bumped for her properly, which obviously they would. They know how to wrestle her.
Hmm.
Considering she'd be the rustiest person in the ring. Um,
Yes.
but they knew how to walk around it and make her look good. The match as a whole, very clusterfuckery. Like, I don't think I ever quite knew who was legal and who wasn't legal. Like, it was always very, um,
I mean, that usually happens in a
and
fatal four-way
yeah,
88
and it was
tax.
just weird. It was weird to begin with because like it was all one from each person could be in the match, and usually it's two from of the two people in the ring at all times of the four tag teams. So it was just
Hmm.
kind of all over the place to begin with. But I mean, it was a good moment to see Paige win the championship. Low key, I kind of wanted Lara and Bailey to win because like that's been the story arc for literally a year at this
Sometime,
point. Um,
pretty much.
but I mean, considering that once Paige came out, there was all bets was off. They wasn't going to go home happy unless Paige won. That kind of sucks, but for them at least. But you know, you gotta pivot, so they pivoted, and it was at the expense of Bailey and Lara, unfortunately. But still,
Hmm.
again, a good, nice moment for Paige. What say you?
I mean, the moment Paige came back, I was like, "Oh, she's winning. It's over."
Right.
Which makes me wonder if the Bella twins weren't injured, if Nikki wasn't injured, how would that match? Who would have won that match?
I think it would have been Bailey and Lara. I really think that.
And that's where I'm like, so it kind of throws the what if ism in it. I would have thought Nia and Lash would have retained, but that's just me.
Mm,
Um, but I get it. I get it. Paige came back. Everyone was happy. Paige came back. People kind of knew the buzz in the city was Paige was coming back. So it wasn't nothing new. It's just we needed it confirmed. And once it was confirmed, everyone was like, hell yeah.
right.
So, I mean, but it's good to see Paige back. I mean, not even just in the sense of in WWE, but I mean, considering that whole neck issue that she was going through, like for that to be cleared for her to actually even wrestle, and I'm hoping that she's able to write the rest of the chapter of pretty much unfulfilled book because she had so much potential.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like her stint in AEW, the crowd never got behind her. Like they really, abused her, if I'm
Because
being
she,
honest.
because
So
I mean, even though she started in the Indies, they still seen her as WWE homegirl. Same as, I mean, Sasha, WWE homegirl.
right. So I mean, she was always going to get the biggest pop going home because obviously that crowd knows who she is. So, it's only right that she is where she's supposed to be. I mean,
Yeah,
considering yes, she was, indie at one point, but I feel like she was more known for her time in WWE more than anything. Like, I feel like she's maybe spent more time in WWE than she did on the indies. So, I mean,
I
it's kind of give
mean,
and take.
they made a movie about her fucking being in this. Yeah,
I mean, she was born
so
into it, so there's that.
there you go. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. How many stars you give it?
Uh, I mean, 2.5. Other than Paige coming back, everything else just seemed kind of off.
Agreed. 2.5. Oh, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dizzle. Uncle Dizzle.
1 7/5.
Higher.
2.5.
Higher. I'm surprised too. I'll give him
Okay then. 3.
2.75.
Damn it, got me with those.
That that 3/4.
So Uncle Dave is saying he liked this match more than we did. Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think he just like that Page came back.
I mean, is he
Bonus points.
known for liking Paige? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he loves the Bucks and the Tokyo Dome. God knows if he loves Page.
Very true. All right, we got Becky Lynch defeating AJ Lee to capture the Intercontinental Championship in 8 minutes 15 seconds. I actually really like this match. I liked that they set up the whole issue with the referee to begin with. It was prevalent through the match. Becky Lynch, um, you know, by nefarious means takes out AJ Lee with the turnbuckle. Um, Considering, their other matches were so long and they did a lot less, they did so much for doing so little in so little time, I should say. And I think that all of it really worked for me. I think that they accomplished a lot. That enjoyable match in a bottle in a contained, amount of time. I think like the last match was like 25 minutes or something. So
I mean,
honestly,
yeah, they give him time. Yeah.
like this all worked for me. I think that it capitalized on both girls' strength. What say you?
Um, Becky getting the win was not out of the realm because they need. I mean, considering that they are trying to keep her from being in the world title picture, her carrying this title is probably what's best to keep, keep heat on her and keep her out of the world title picture.
Right,
Um, as from a wrestling perspective, it wasn't near what they've done previously, but from a story perspective, it made sense. Because it was just Becky doing whatever Becky needed to do to win,
right,
irregardless. So that was kind of like the crux of the story. Like, now the question is just, okay, Becky won, AJ lost. Is AJ just going home? Is she just chilling? And what's next for Becky as far as her run? Because as much as she's practically been carrying this mid card title.
right.
To be quite honest,
And I mean, she's been doing a good job with it as well. I mean, she put over Lyra. She put over, Maxine.
Maxine,
Um, you know, Maddie unfortunately undid everything that she did with Maxine by, dragging her down. But I digress. Um, but yeah, I mean, she's trying her best with what she has, and what they do after she wrestles is up to them.
true.
But I do believe AJ said that she wasn't going to be she'll be away for a while, but she will be coming back. So probably around SummerSlam, I'd say.
Question it. I mean, hopefully she's not beefing with Becky anytime soon. I don't think the AJ Lee experiment has been as fruitful as they hoped.
Mm, elaborate.
Because you would have thought AJ would have kind of had a bigger pop than than what they thought. Other than the hardcore wrestling fan, the casual wrestling
I feel like she got
fan.
a good enough pop. I mean, again, she's AJ, but also she's been there for a couple of months, so that good, nice to see you again. Pop fades.
I mean, it fades even more when she comes back, and it's like she's only been back a handful of times.
True. How many stars you give this?
Um, 2.5. Because it was short. I mean, granted, with the exception of Cody, especially with a handful of matches on this night, like maybe two or three, everything felt short.
I mean, everything was short. Um, Out of 7 matches, four
But
of
like
them,
commercial mania.
did not go over, did not meet 10 minutes. So
Yeah, because it was commercial mania.
did it was the commercials worse on night one than they was on night two? Because I had the ability to actually speed up the commercials. So, and maybe some were actually edited out. I don't know. But did it seem like night two had less commercials? Because it seemed like it didn't. Like it did.
I mean, night two felt like it just went straight to wrestling, and people had time to cook.
Okay. So,
Maybe because it felt like it was more wrestling focused than celebrity storyline focused.
okay, I got you.
That's what it's. I mean, that could be the case because, like I said, night one was kind of like, what the fuck?
Like I said, it kind of seemed like they just wanted to get night one out of the way. We didn't sell a lot of tickets to this shit, even though the people that did buy tickets, spent an excruciating amount of money for it. So, we're not going to give them the absolute best show that we could.
I mean, especially for the people that bought like those 2 day passes. It's fucking,
Yeah. Um, I'm going to give this 3.5. I like the story. I actually like that it was short. They understood the assignment. They executed it perfectly. My opinion.
mm, fair enough.
I'm gonna say Uncle Dave gave this a 3.
Uncle Dave did not give it a 3.
Higher or lower?
I mean, lower.
2.5.
Now you tripping. It's higher.
Um, I said 3, and then I said two and a
Yeah,
half. So that's at least
yeah.
2 and 7/5.
2 and 7/5. Two and that 3/4. Yep.
Okay. Now we have Gunther defeating Seth Rollins in 17 minutes and 56 seconds. I felt like this was a good match, and I should have been more invested into it. But considering like there was no like storyline getting into it, it was hard to get invested, especially considering that Paul Heyman did not come out with Gunther. So there was never that, looming threat of Paul Heyman doing something nefarious. Obviously Braun Breaker came back and cost him the match, which, storyline purposes, works. And Gunther finally gets a W at WrestleMania after 3 fucking years, so that was good. Um, but yeah, it was hard to get invested when there wasn't a lot to sink your teeth into. What say you, Khalil?
Considering this match was not on everyone's bingo card, but most people in that audience thought that this was the match of the night.
Yeah,
From a pure wrestling standpoint, and everything made sense in the way that Seth lost. um, due to the fact that Braun Breaker came back. So it was, as much as people didn't care about the storyline aspect of how they got in the ring, the outcome actually kind of circumvented that because of the fact that him coming back kind of kept Seth from keeping his eye on the prize. Um, so that made sense. And then, of course, they set up the whole spear thing for Braun, in which he's just stopped running down that hill because you just did not have the right angle on that spear. But yeah, I mean, the right guy won. It was a really, really solid match, and I mean, you can't get better than that. That was the match of the night, to be quite honest.
I
In
agree with
my
that.
in my opinion, it was a match of the night. Night one.
No, I agree with that. It was definitely the best, the one of the better matches. But again, it was hard, storyline purposes because they only had 2 weeks to build it. But yeah, no, the match itself. I mean, anytime you're going to have Gunther versus Seth Rollins, it's going to be a banger.
Exactamundo.
How many stars do you give this?
I, four. I mean, this is a solid four. I mean, you know what? Four and a quarter. I give it four and a quarter because they turned chicken shit into chicken salad and made you actually care.
I will give it 4. All right. Then we have the Women's World Championship match. Liv Morgan defeat. Oh, actually no. We have the Uncle Dave. I think that you stole Uncle Dave's rating. 4.25.
Higher.
4.5.
Four and a half. See, he gave it four and a half.
Okay. All right.
But we all agree this isn't the match of night one.
Oh
So
yeah,
there
for
you go.
sure. Now we have Liv Morgan defeating Stephanie McClure to win the Women's World Championship in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. It's weird that Rhea and Jay had a similar concept to their match, but executed it so much better. I feel like the Gaga and the interference and Liv's entrance took away a lot from this match. I understand like the reason why it was short because Liv was injured. She had that lump on her head. Completely respectable. But I feel like they could have did a lot more with a lot less, and quite arguably one of Stephanie McCoy's less good matches, which is insane because Stephanie is known for having, bangers, and I don't even feel like it was a big moment for Liv, honestly. Like, winning the title at WrestleMania, it should have been a bigger moment, and it just didn't feel. It felt a little bit empty, honestly. Maybe it was the music video as well that that dampened that, but it felt so less than what it needed to be, considering what type of match it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Did we lose Kaliko? Was Kaliko here at all?
Yep.
Oh, there he
I
is.
am here. I'm always here. Now, where we at? Stephanie and Liv. If most disappointing match was a thing, this was it. Because I love Liv. I love Stephanie. I thought the fact that it was personal. would have added an extra oomph to it, but it just seemed like they didn't have enough time to let it cook. And then on top of the fact that I get what they were trying to do. They were emphasizing Liv's single, which newsflash, once that happened, I was like, oh, she's winning. Anyways, um, and yeah, it just seemed like all the beef that they had didn't translate into good in-ring chemistry, unlike Punk and Roman. Um, I was good with either one winning, but Steph won, so it kind of I get it. She's on top of the division. She can kind of run it around. Steph, I guess, based on how it goes Monday, they still got shit to finish. Although the match itself, it left a lot to be desired because they only gave them 6 minutes. They could only get so much in 6 minutes. It took longer to get their interested in than to get the match in. And it would have been okay with the interests if the match was a banger. And I don't think this was probably in their top five matches against each other, let alone anything else.
How many stars you give this?
Um, it was two. And that's sad coming from a Stephanie and Liv fan like myself. I just felt like they really should have had more time to cook.
Right, so I mean, Stephanie records in the match, so that automatically gives it a 4 stars. But the match left a lot to be desired, so that subtracts a half a star. Um, Liv Morgan's music video subtracts a star and a half itself. Um, so yeah, we're at, as much as I hate to say it, as much as my heart hurts to give Stephanie McCoy a 2 star match. I think that I wouldn't feel. I mean, I could maybe bump it up to 2.5 because Stephanie was in it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to justify, right? But yeah, um, I can't give Stephanie a solid 2. I it needs to be at least a 2.5. 2.5. All right. Uncle Dave. Thinking. 1.5. Kaliko? Did we lose Kaliko? Was Kaliko here to begin with? Liv and Stephanie. 1.5 stars.
Ooh, you man,
No, I gave them 2.5, but I'm saying Dave Meltzer gave them 1.5.
one and a half higher,
2?
two.
Okay. Um, that brings us to the main event, the last match. Night 1. WWE Undisputed Championship match. Cody Rhodes defeated um
Randy
Randy
Orton.
Orton in 22 minutes and 45 seconds. You know, considering what this could have been on both ends of the spectrum, I think that they did, and I know this is probably a controversial take on it. I think that they did the best that they could with what was available to them, and they still had a decent match. I think all of the bullshit with TKO and Pat McAfee and Loki, I'll say it. I feel bad for Pat because he did not want to be in this position. He did not want to be there and ruin the main event of WrestleMania. But it was the position he was put in, and he had to do the best that he could. And I think, considering how he worked with Triple H or creative to get himself out of there for the majority of the match, kudos to him to we actually respect pro wrestling enough to know when something is the drizzling shits, and respect these two guys as well. So, like back to my point, considering that all the bullshit with TKO, Randy Orton may or may not have a severe back injury, may not be returning. Who knows? We don't know. Rumor and innuendo. Um, they did as the best they could with what they had. I think Cody did a good job bouncing from heel to face. I think Randy did a good job being that tweener. And I did actually think that the ending was poetic because it kind of ended how it started. Cody got distracted by Drew and it cost him the Elimination Chamber. Randy got distracted by Pat and, Cody took advantage. Why Cody Rhodes, why Randy Orton RKO'd Pat when he was on his side, we don't know. But, we also do kind of know. It kind of got a pop from the crowd as well. So, again, they did, considering that this could have been a hell of a lot worse, and I do emphasize a hell of a lot worse, I think they contained it to what they could have. Um, and I mean, and then you look at the opposite end of that spectrum, what it could have been if, TKO did not interfere in it, if,
True.
Randy was healthy, if they actually did
Yes.
play on, the 20 years of, history between the two guys. There was
True.
there's so many what ifs in this that go positive and negative. Again, it could have been so much better, and it also, on the opposite spectrum, could have been a whole lot worse. So, considering all of those factors, I would have taken this as a win, in all honesty. But
Really.
that is my perspective. What is yours?
I mean, from the beginning, the entrances were very long for the match, which, given, okay, main event match, it seemed like the one consensus in the crowd amongst us is that we all couldn't stand McAfee. Uh,
Right.
uh, Even though we couldn't stand McAfee, what we couldn't stand was Jelly Roll jumping in, splashing McAfee. Uh, what we really didn't get was why McAfee gets splashed, goes out on a stretcher. We're happy, and the motherfucker comes back running down the ramp with a neck brace. And what really confused you is that the count was apparently slow. Randy felt some type of way and RKO'd him. They got some splaining to do. So that's what gave it to me that what the fuck aspect. It just the match didn't make sense. And then of course Cody wins and we get the after shit where Randy could have done that during the match, I guess. Because this would have made sense if Randy did that, kicked him in the match, kind of. no contest, he took the belt and ran his way off. You know what I mean? But for
And
all that to happen after Randy loses, it's kind of like, ugh.
I also feel like for, a WrestleMania, you want that last moment. And this was definitely in the negative column. You want that last moment of, the pyro going off, to celebrate with, whoever won. And the crowd didn't get that because Randy, attacked Cody, and it just kind of left, it kind of ended with like, okay, that happened. Like, it wasn't like, yay, Randy beat him up, or, you know, it just kind of fell flat. And I don't think that
Yeah,
you want to end WrestleMania on a flat note. I think you want to end WrestleMania on, a
on
note
a
that
high note.
where people will say like, "Oh, that was good. I like that," or "That sucked. I wanted Randy to win," but some type of emotion, and it was just the emotion was just flat. If I'm being honest.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It, the way that match just transpired, it just didn't make sense. And I mean, it did make sense to the audience. We were basically going with the I Love Lucy. You got some explaining to do, to be quite honest.
Right. I mean, there is no explaining to do, honestly, because Pat McAfee is leaving, and I mean, it was rumored in innuendo that we would have Pat McAfee and Randy Orton versus Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes at Backlash, but both parties pulled out of the match. They didn't want to be a part of
Th-
it. Um,
Thank God.
Rightfully so. I mean, Pat and Jelly, actually respects pro wrestling and the guys and the business. So, they're aware that it was not what they were doing was not best for business, but they got kind of looped into it, unfortunately. So, good on them for putting the that don't work for me, brother.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but it if I rated that match, it honestly, the way it transpired from start to finish, 2.5.
Really?
Because people were cheering the biggest the biggest, let me see, through line is that people were cheering that McAfee got his ass handed to him. Other than that, what else did you have to look forward to? But then again, I kind of got to give them props because they didn't do what they did last year and did right by Cody this year, what they should have done last year.
Right. And we don't know if Randy is, physically able at this point to continue anything with his back injury. So, a lot of things are up in the air at this point. So, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, he did mention the back, so yeah, he
it was a safe bet to keep the belt on Cody, which is kind of hilarious to say considering that he almost broke his orbital bone in that match and could barely see. And like he did not, he got colored the hard way.
pretty much. I mean, he ate it. I mean, say what you will, Cody does give his shit for the business. He is of that old school cloth.
That
So
he is. So you're giving this 2.5?
yeah, just because I mean, it didn't make. If you're watching it live, it did not make. I mean, well, sitting in the audience, it did not make sense. I mean, if you're just watching it with no commentary, whatever, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, they did
Like,
sell.
why did Randy Orton RKO McAfee? Why did Jelly Roll splash? I get why they did it, but it's just more like it didn't fit.
Um, like I said, it could have been a hell of a lot worse, and I didn't think what they did was that bad for what they were given. So I'm gonna give it. You know what? Fuck it. 4 stars.
Wow.
Yeah. Uncle Dave.
Uncle Desaves.
3.25.
Oh, higher.
3 7/5.
Lower.
3.5.
3.5.
Okay. How the show as a whole? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Bro, middle. Because, I mean, honestly, it's like middle ish. Because they better think they're lucky stars for Gunther versus Seth.
I am going to give it a thumbs down. Um, it did not feel like a WrestleMania. It did not. It felt like a pre-show WrestleMania. Honestly, um, it just did not have that luster, and I don't think that even Gunter versus Set is going to be remembered in a couple of years. I don't think that there was anything memorable on this show to last, years and years down the line. Obviously, when we get to night two, we'll talk about that. But night one
Right.
as a whole, I feel like this was on the level of WrestleMania 9. Honestly, it
Mm,
was. It was not on its own. It was not a good day at the office for a WrestleMania. So thumbs down. Uh, all right. So that was night one.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.